The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 17th day of May, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindo's. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with Jackie Lambert. It's a birthday today. We'll get to that. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you're watching online, share the link. If you're on Facebook, start that watch party. If you're on Twitter, you know what to do. Just retweet it. If you're watching on Channel 82, or listening on the Full 100 radio station, call somebody up, let them know that we're on, just get the conversation out there to your network, and don't forget to like and engage with us. Another good one today, a good one to begin the week, as we have Ms. Lorene Phillips stopping by to offer, or to share some advice on how to successfully build your virtual network to grow your business. But building a virtual network is so important, even if you don't have a business these days. So it should be an interesting conversation. The Daily Play is a Who Said It? So it's a famous quote that Jackie will be guessing. But a lot to talk about, a lot to celebrate. First off, I think we should get your horns ready for a song. You did Happy Birthday on Friday, so we're gonna have to I'm gonna give you time to get your horns ready so you can sing Happy Birthday. But did you hear Hazel Clark actually shared it? She was the first one I saw. Bermudian Janai Parent Chief at the University of Tennessee. He won some track thing. He's a triple jumper. And when I read it, let me go to it because I think I had it right. I was like, hold on, this gentleman jumped how far, Jackie?
I wish I could show you guys my you know how back in the day they used to make you participate in everything?
Yeah. I
wish I had footage because the comparison is embarrassing because I can't jump off.
well, I mean, I'm on Burn News, but looks like he, according to Burn News, he competed in the 2021 SEC Outdoor Championship. So that's the Southeastern Conference, I believe, in the United States, with Parent Chief making an impressive showing, winning the men's triple jump. So it looks like dominated the competition, and a win assisted mark of 16.89 meters. So that's what, 55 feet, I believe, on his third attempt. Now, firstly, I want to say congratulations to Janai Parent Chief. You know, let's give him props.
Yes.
Congratulations. I love to see Bermudians excelling, especially in sports, things that, you know, we're a small people, right? But secondly, I am impressed, regardless of whether it's Bermudian or not, that someone can jump that far. Well,
I'm amazed because I'm related to the Parent Chiefs, and I'm just like, why isn't that in my genetics? It should be passed on.
Come on, Jackie. I'm sure he can't as good as you, but no, that's good work for him. And I think I speak on behalf of everyone when I say congratulations, Janai Parent Chief, on your jump. And you know, good luck. Hopefully, this means something for the Olympics. Hopefully, he can make it to the Olympics and represent Bermuda well. So the discussion this morning, folks, was something that was up. Mr. Shamari Tolbert, he watches this show sometimes. He had a question on the All Things Bermuda Politics and Discussions group on Facebook. And he basically said, Bermuda must implement a toll booth system for tourists. All tourists renting vehicles should have to pay tolls spread out across the island, or buy a $30 island pass, good for 2 weeks. And people were ripping him up. Like, just people didn't thought the idea was crazy. Someone, I just want to get people's feelings. Like, audience, let us know. How do you feel about a toll in Bermuda? How do you feel about a toll in Bermuda?
I'm trying to figure out how we'd implement that. Like, seriously, I'm really trying to figure out, like, is it like, so sometimes when I go to represent Bermuda, there's different places where you have to pay like tourist taxes. So I think it was DR, when you come in, you have to pay like $50, and then you keep the same ticket, and when you leave, you pay again. I wonder if that's what they're trying to implement, if that's what he's going with it, where he's going with it.
I think, okay, when you look at Florida, a lot of Bermudians travel to Florida, right? A lot of Bermudians travel to Florida. Christmas, Bermudians go to Orlando. Florida is a toll state. You cannot go anywhere really, being in tolls. But Florida also doesn't have state tax, right? So that's how they make their money. Now, Florida is a big tourist destination. Forget Disney World and Miami and all that, but just cruise ship wise, it's a port. So Florida is a toll state, right? That said, can Bermuda afford to add another tax onto tourists, right? And then the thing about Florida's tolls, they don't discriminate, right? They do not discriminate. So it's not like you as a Bermudian have to pay these tolls just because you're Bermudian. You feel me? Everyone has to pay these tolls. So I get Mr. And I know Talent Clark, who watches all the time, he said something regarding it as well on there. He said, I guess being facetious or sarcastic, well, we might as well just throw in the taxi drivers as well. But it would, well, Michelle White makes a great point. She says, she's asking the question, how wouldn't tolls affect us? Well, this is, again, he's speaking to rental vehicles. His point was rental vehicles for tourists, Mr. Talbot, right? That was his point. Now, if it's only tourist-based, I mean, again, you're running into the issue of another expense in Bermuda, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
They already think Bermuda's kind of expensive. Sean Smith says, no, Bermuda too small for that. All the damn tax the Bermudian and visitor pays. So I think the challenge here that I'm having is because I've actually spoken to a politician from St. George's before. And this was years ago, so I don't want people thinking it's a particular politician. And they actually mentioned that Bermuda should have tolls to get in St. George's, right? So I said to this politician at the time, I'm like, but you're already struggling to get people in St. George's. Do you really think that would help St. George's? And then what about the locals that live there, right? And what the gentleman had said is, I just gave it away, probably saying gentleman, but what the politician had said was that, no, the residents will have a pass to come and go as they please, but people visiting St. George's should have a toll. Honestly, I'm not a St. George's person, but I just thought it was a horrible idea.
Yeah, there's other places I can go other than St. George's, which I already go other than all the way St. George's. Because I'm from Somerset. I live in Somerset. Right now I'm in Warwick, but most times I'll go back up west. So for me to go St. George's and then have to pay to go St. George's, which is already a part of my own country, I just don't see it. And then I'm just thinking now, like, how do the tolls work? Most people usually take taxis or catch the bus. So are they paying extra when they get on the buses and in the taxis? Are we going to start taxing the taxis even more than we already tax the taxi drivers?
Well, I think that's what Talent Clark actually said. He said, I think, again, he was probably being sarcastic. Why don't we just put the cost onto taxi drivers? Because that's where a lot of the tourists go, right? But in truth, with that, it would probably, okay, once we have to find out the volume. How many tourists actually rent vehicles, right? That we can say, oh, we can actually make good revenue from this. You feel me? Like, is it something that makes sense in the long run? Colton Fleming says, horrible idea. Bermuda is already too expensive. What is the likelihood of them returning to Bermuda? Elizabeth, Jack.
That just gives me another reason not to go St. George's. Ditto.
I don't know. Honestly, I love St. George's. I think St. George's is probably, and I'm a town guy. St. George's is probably the most beautiful part of Bermuda to me. You know, with all due respect, I just love it. It's got a sense of calm, peace. But I don't think the idea of a toll going into St. George's would be in their best interest. And I think if they would have moved forward with something like that, I'm pretty sure the business community would have a lot to say about it as well. Michelle White, we already have a departure tax. Would there be an arrival tax? Then tourists get flagged at the airport. Good questions, Michelle. Good questions.
It just feels like when nickel and diamond are tourists.
Well, I think it comes down to the island needs money, and people are just throwing out ideas. You know what I'm saying? I think Sean Smith says, "My sister will never see me again." I'm guessing his sister listens to George's. Don't forget, Jack is going to sing a special happy birthday to Carla, folks. You don't want to miss this, because if you heard on Friday, I mean, man.
Oh, Jesus, this is so much pressure, though.
Look, I thought Quincy Jones was going to call you after Friday's performance, so you want to listen to Jack's happy birthday today. Renee Sherilyn Simmons Jacks.
If we had a new bridge from Dockyard to, say, Spanish Point to ease traffic, maybe a toll would suffice.
Well, she makes thank you for that, Miss Renee Sherilyn Simmons, because what about, you know how they're putting, is it flats? They're making the little bridge there to cross. Now, you all may think I'm silly for saying this, but what if that became a toll where people didn't have to go all the way around? Like, I mean, mind you, it's only like 2 more minutes to go around, but simple things like that. So I get your point about, you know, maybe if it seemed like a real advantage, then people would, be cool with it. Elizabeth goes on to say, I love it too regarding St. George's, but I'm not paying anything to go anywhere here. Philip Trott says, we need to stop nickel and diming tourists and figure out better ways to have recurring tourists if we are worried about making money. So basically it comes down to what we were talking about last week with St. Regis, ensuring that the service is 100%, like we're going over and above and exceeding the expectations of visitors to Bermuda, so that they actually want to return and that they do return, so that we don't have to, add tolls, right? And remember what we said last week, folks. Remember what we said. We actually stated that if someone's coming to Bermuda and they're paying, what was it, $1,500 a night or something? What was it?
Yeah.
If they're paying, if they're paying upward of $1,500 a night for a room in Bermuda, guess what? That person has the money to spend off property. That person will now probably have the money to actually pay into the economy, regardless if it's groceries, restaurants, and so on. They will. Shikarena Jack.
Are they including mopeds or just electronic vehicles? Because for the electronic vehicles, you're already worried about where to plug in. Let's not worry about tolls on top of that. Yeah.
And Philip Trott's just being disrespectful.
That's what I was laughing at.
You can read it, Jackie.
Because, I'm a Somerset fan. And I'm not paying a toll to go see St. George's, not Windy Cop again. Yes, you will. Actually,
if we're going to add tolls, I would actually be okay with them charging tolls for Somerset fans during Cup match. I think that would be fair. And Somerset can do it to St. George's people on Somerset Bridge come Cup match the other way the next year. So I would be a fan of that. If the money went into the clubs, 50 cents, I'm good with it. I was
like, it better not be no like $2 just to go not find parking.
No, I honestly think, I mean, again, you're all probably going to think I'm crazy, but I think that would be something good. It could help the clubs, like just during Cup match, go over the bridge, 50 cents per vehicle that doesn't live in the area. I think, I don't know. I get what Mr. Talbot's trying to say. I think we have to have discussions on, if not tolling, then what? You know what I'm saying? If we're not going to toll visitors, then how are we going to get the visitors, to come to Bermuda, number one, and when they do come to Bermuda, how can we get the most out of them? But I think it goes back to what Philip Trott said. It's not about charging them more to enjoy the experience, per se. It's really about them enjoying their experience so that they come back and spend more, but also when they come back, they bring someone else. So yes or no, folks, do you think, this is a quick yes or no question. Do you think Bermuda should add tolls for tourists? Not everyone, but the question is, do you think Bermuda should add tolls as a way of more income? Nachika Trot says, we pay TCD tax, so no tolls needed. No, but this is more for tourists, Nachika. Do you all think that Bermuda should add tolls for tourists? Do you think Bermuda should add tolls for tourists? A nope. We have a no from the Chica Trot, no from Sean Smith, no from Lydia Simmons, nope from Sheldon Eugene Fox, no tolls Bobby Singh, no Nicole Walker, no Heather O'Connell. It's a resounding no, as Michelle White said. Honestly, I don't think people are in favor of tolls. And let me just be clear. I live in South Florida, folks, and I cannot escape tolls, and it adds up. I obviously am signed up where it just comes out of my account, but it's tough, and I don't think. Obviously, it would be hard to monitor just doing it on tourist and rental vehicles. I don't think Bermudians would deserve. And again, this is nothing being proposed by government, folks. This was just a discussion on a Facebook page, so I'm not pushing anything. It was just wanted to get your opinion on whether or not you thought that tolls were a great idea. Just want to touch on something real quickly before we go to the news break, and then we got a rendition of Happy Birthday to the birthday girl, Carla Zulu there. So real quickly, Jackie, last night I was heartbroken. We tuned in. It was my first time working for the Florida Panthers because actually someone asked me last week, one of the guests on the show asked me, do I still work for the Panthers? And I said, yeah. I guess I don't talk about it as much. But anyway, Jack has been to a game with me. He's seen a hockey game, and it's pretty brutal. But last night was the first playoff game in my Panthers career, and I watched it at home, and it was intense. I mean, there were fights every 2 seconds. It was just a different level from what we witnessed. I actually texted my boys in the group saying, guys, you want to see a thrilling sporting event, tune in. We lost 5-4 in the last minute, but honestly, folks, I'm not telling you this just because I work for the team, but hockey is a different level. We've got Bobby in the crowd, go Leafs. Rick Olsen saying, great game last night. Even the commentators, because Florida Panthers, we're in a smaller market compared to most other teams, but the Florida Panthers, last night, the commentator said this is one of the best hockey games they've seen. And so if you're ever in South Florida, I'll take you to a game. It's an exciting thing to experience. So when you all are free again, I'll probably get Jackie to bring you all and we'll go to a game. But we got to get to a news break. Jackie, you didn't see the game, did you, Jackie?
No, I was asleep. I woke up too and I was just like, no. I was crashed.
It's all good. It's highlights somewhere on social media. We have Lorene Phillips coming up from Clarendon. She's going to be discussing a very important conversation, how to grow your virtual network to build your brand. So this is an important convo. I know a lot of people that watch this show are entrepreneurs or do some sort of social media. So hopefully you all stay tuned to that. A quick news break, and then we're gonna go to the Jackster, and she's gonna this little song. You like how I did that? I didn't do that on purpose. Yes. I did. We're gonna do a quick song, and I'm not even gonna try. I'll just be your background. All right.
Okay.
All right. Get your pipes ready, Wally. All right, the regulatory authority is pleased to announce the status updates to 3 initiatives in the electricity and electronics communication sectors. In the electricity sector, you have the RA reduces the retail tariff for the 2nd year in a row with a focus on providing relief to consumers due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The retail tariff has been reduced. The retail tariff is the rate at which electricity per kilowatt hour is sold to a consumer and is reflected on a Belco bill as the usage charge. Electronic communication sector. 2. The RA lifted the moratorium on 5G. After an extensive review process, the RA's Board of Commissioners has lifted the moratorium to allow 5G technology to be deployed in Bermuda. This decision is based on the compelling benefits that consumers and local and international businesses will reap, such as enhanced mobility, connectivity, reliability, and security, and includes strict safety measures and adherence to appropriately safety standards as referenced by several international standard bodies. And the third part is communications licenses were issued to 3 new providers in the electronic communication sector. Increased competition typically benefits consumers through greater product variety, lower prices, and higher quality services. For more information, visit ra.bm. One Magic October in October, a tribute to Dr. the Honorable Hewitt F. Brown. In recognition of former Premier Dr. the Honorable Hewitt F. Brown, JPMP's 75th birthday, the Friends of Dr. Brown are sponsoring a 30-minute tribute video, airing on Monday, May 17th at 8 p.m. on ZBM Channel 9. That's tonight. The video will feature tributes by Bermudians who has inspired and encouraged. A spokesperson for the Friends of Dr. Brown stated, quote, "Throughout his life, Dr. Brown has helped, mentored, and inspired so many people in Bermuda. On this, his 75th birthday, we wanted to show our appreciation and show Bermuda the Hewitt Brown that we know for his generosity, wisdom, and kindness. Quote, we encourage Bermuda to tune in, and we extend our birthday wishes to Dr. Brown." Folks, today is work from home day, not to be confused with remote work, where an employee is working from home all the time, nor freelancing, where the individual is an independent contractor running their own business from home. Work from home day celebrates Thursdays where office workers get the opportunity to avoid the commute and work from home for a day. So the idea of the day is also to demonstrate that giving people the freedom to work and work from home from time to time can benefit both employer and employee. In short, it is saving office costs, helps erase transport congestion, and encourages people to manage their workloads more effectively. Well, it's weather time, Jackie. And you know what I'm going to tell them? Instead of the weather, what we're going to do today is a special birthday song for the birthday girl. So, okay, Jack, you hit some notes. That's, by the way, that's your news break for today. You hit some notes on Friday. We need a little special note again, because I got, oh, who is she signed with? That's what they were asking me. I was asking,
Yes, you like silly.
I'm not signed with. I mean, look, I don't know, maybe Universal, Def Jam, but look, give us a little happy birthday to the birthday girl.
Okay. So nerve-wracking. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Sister Carla. Happy birthday to you.
All righty. So look, I ain't got the pipes left. But happy birthday, Carla, the elder, and mature one and wise one. Wishing you your best day ever. And look, we'll have to send her a mug for her birthday. All right.
I hope she takes a break from drinking and has a drink with me today, virtually.
No shots, okay? All right,
No.
we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Miss Lorene Phillips. This is a conversation you don't want to miss. Stay tuned.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Spring has sprung and it's time for the Friends of Hospice Butterfly Blast annual raffle. The butterflies are emerging bigger and better than before this year, and there's over $40,000 worth of prizes to make things more exciting. 3 Caterpillar raffles containing $1,000 gift certificates leading up to the main draw. There are multiple chances to win, so buy early and increase your odds of winning. So spring into action and get yours today. Check our Facebook page, Friends of Hospice Bermuda, for details, or call 232-0859. Lindos, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. Jackie Lambert and myself, Jamel Hartman, brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindos, and our friends over at Channel 82 doing the work, not only showing this show, but other locally produced shows. Don't forget, Channel 82 is streaming 24/7. Without further ado, let's bring in Miss Lorene Phillips. Welcome to the show. Good morning, madam. Hello. Hello, you're live. Hello.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Be here.
No problem. No problem. All right, so let's get to the conversation. Just give us some background. Really, you are the founder of Clarendon, Wallace, and the British School of Etiquette. What's the focus of each of these companies?
Each of these companies focus primarily on improving individual soft skills so it can set them apart. So we know that the hard skills are always focused on. So the stuff you learn in university, whether you're an accountant, you learn the hard skills of being an accountant. But we know that soft skills is what differentiates you from the competition, the way you interact with people, the kinds of impressions that you make, how memorable you are, and the relationships that you form in doing so, your communication skills.
All righty. And just that's good to know. So we're here to talk about building a virtual network, how to build a virtual network to be successful and grow a business. First, for those who may not know, obviously over the last year, many people have been working from home, and there's been more people working online. I mean, this show was kind of built out of the whole pandemic, and we're virtual, right? Online studio, virtual studio. But speak to us, just let the audience, for those who don't know, what is a virtual network?
A virtual network is a network that you build that is not physically face to face. So as we are connecting right now, we are connecting virtually. I've never met you in person, face to face, physically. So it's really an opportunity to connect with someone that is not physically in front of you, and learning how to do that in a way that allows you to build deeper relationships.
Got you.
Can you explain to us why it's important to build a virtual network?
It is crucial. That's a great question. It is absolutely crucial. If there's anything that the pandemic has highlighted, it's the need for us to be able to improve that skill set. Can you imagine if we had the pandemic in a time when we did not have the technological advancement that we do have now? You wouldn't have businesses like yourself being able to start and to thrive. We wouldn't have these kinds of conversations. We wouldn't have basic human connection. And certainly during the pandemic, even though we have technology, our network has been shrunk quite significantly, and we've been put into silos. So therefore, that stunts our ability to be creative, to collaborate, and to have those relationships that can really lead to expanding your network and also growing it so that you can grow your business.
Can you give us some key tips to building and growing a virtual network?
Without revealing what I will be sharing on Wednesday, sure. One of them is like this. I mean, here we are sitting, talking to each other, and I have never met either one of you, but I do know someone, which is Jamila Lodge. So Jamila connects me to you. So she is my contact to you. So you are considered a weak contact. Statistics shows that your biggest results actually come from your weaker contacts, not your stronger contacts. So we should really make sure that we are spreading out our network as wide as possible and as deep as possible, because that's where most of our opportunities come from.
Unfortunately, your volume is very low, so we're probably going to cut this very short. Yeah, it's okay. We did a quality check earlier; everything was fine. But we'll yeah, the audience
I can raise my voice a bit.
Yeah, the audience just can't hear you. I'm not.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame.
I don't want to tell you shout. I don't know what's the deal, but that's honestly, folks, we apologize. We'll do our best to ensure that you hear everything. But we've obviously virtual networking has become a big thing in a virtual network. How important is something like LinkedIn? When it comes to this.
Great question. I'm raising my voice a bit so you can hear me, hopefully. Absolutely crucial. Certainly within the pandemic, LinkedIn as a social professional platform literally just went absolutely bonkers. I was presented recently with a LinkedIn guru, and he shared that 40,000 LinkedIn individuals list Bermuda as their connection location, their domicile, where they're located from. That's 40,000 adults are on LinkedIn, or university-age students. That's a lot of Bermudians that are online, or a lot of individuals in Bermuda that is online. When you look at the total population of Bermuda, we're talking an amazing saturation point. Absolutely crucial. I went and checked you out as well on LinkedIn before I got on.
Well, I mean, LinkedIn is my go-to. Here's the interesting thing. We've spoken about LinkedIn on this show previously, and I know there are some people that I've spoken to in Bermuda that just don't see the point. They don't understand it. Just explain why, because I look at, obviously me being in South Florida, if you don't have a LinkedIn page over here, you pretty much don't have a job history. I mean, there are people that scout you based on your LinkedIn, whereas you probably never have to send a resume. But speak to people just about how impactful LinkedIn can be, and some secrets to how they can get the best of it.
Oh, I absolutely love LinkedIn, and I talk about it a lot to university age kids as well as careerists, as well as senior executives. LinkedIn is absolutely crucial. I've just shared with you that 40,000 people have LinkedIn as their location. Therefore, you have an amazing network right here with you. So it just makes practical sense to be on it. It's a professional website. You can find individuals that are in your area. You can find groups that are have interest that is aligned with yours, fellow entrepreneurs. If you're looking for a job in a particular area, you can also search. It is an amazing search engine. They also have lots and lots of different tools and different courses that they offer online as well. So I really encourage anyone, if you need to connect, LinkedIn is the place to go.
Indeed, indeed. And you said 40,000 Bermudians, right? That's
40,000 out of 62-ish. So
yeah.
if you strip kids out, the number comes down. So we're talking over 70% of people on LinkedIn are right here in Bermuda.
That's huge. But Ms. Phillips, there are people who, again, they may not know as much about LinkedIn. They may set it up and they may just sit back and just that's their account. There are people in certain industries. For instance, Jackie teaches tennis, right? And I'm a salesperson. Can you just share how Jackie and myself may use it differently to benefit our own special spaces?
Yes, sure. That's a great question. So you go in and you just use your search engine. You can put in a search, tennis. You can just start looking for people that are connected to you. One thing that LinkedIn does amazingly well is that it will actually suggest individuals that have similar connectivities as yours, whether it be an area of interest, where you went to school, your industry, etc. And it will also prompt you as well. And when you get those prompts and you connect, it then opens up and opens up and opens up from there. But you can go on and you can literally filter your search and actually find individuals that are in the same area that you're in.
And Michelle White actually says LinkedIn is an essential business tool, and unfortunately some executives only register and don't check their account, but usually their page may have alternative contact information like email to use for communicating, but they have exposure nonetheless. And that's a key point, because Jackie may not feel like, well, I don't necessarily need LinkedIn. I can benefit more from Instagram, showing people what I do. Whereas me, as a salesperson, I'm on there trying to network and connect and make connections. And really, like, how can I help this person, and how can they help me?
You know what? I do take that point, but a lot has changed since the pandemic, and one has certainly changed around how LinkedIn works going forward. So there's nothing preventing you from utilizing one or two different platforms. So you can utilize LinkedIn and you can utilize Instagram or Facebook. The point is that more people are going to the LinkedIn website. They're doing that initial search there. So if they can find you in two places, then I think that's a very good thing. So one doesn't exclude the other. It's just that people are using LinkedIn more and more. So because the audience is going there, they're being driven there, then I think it's smart to just utilize them more often. It just makes sense.
Indeed. I know, Jackie, you had another question. I'm sorry, I just had a lot.
Oh, no, it's fine. Because as you're asking questions, I'm just like, that's a question I didn't even think to ask, because, I don't actually look at LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn account, but I don't utilize it because in my world, I have a lot of regular contacts. Like, because I travel so much, I already have them. But I just didn't think about, I could actually put some of these stuff that I put on Instagram on LinkedIn so that it just opens up my network again. I didn't even think of that. I'm just like, that's just the easy copy and paste. I should be doing that already. Thank you, guys. That's right. So we're talking about Brendan. Oh, go ahead.
So real quickly, before you ask your last question, and while Jack is asking her question, I just want to ask the audience, who in the audience actually has a LinkedIn account and uses LinkedIn to network? Go ahead, Jack.
So as we were talking about, branding ourselves and putting our information out there, what do you think is the most important detail when it comes to branding ourselves virtually?
I just think really have some clarity about what you're about and your why, and make sure that when you communicate it, you do so in a very authentic way. It has the look, the feel, and the presence across all platforms. So clarity around who you are and really authentically communicate that to your audience and be consistent about that.
Now, when you say consistency, how do you make sure that you don't go from consistency to like spamming?
Yeah.
Have a plan. You know, really, that's where the clarity comes in around what it is that you're trying to accomplish. One of the things that I really want to emphasize, a lot of people, when they think about networking, they're like, oh, I don't want to do it. I got to be fake. I don't want to pretend. I don't want to be, listen, networking when done right is the most strategic way that you can advance your career, advance your business, and grow your network. So changing your mindset around it, and I'll spend some time talking about that on Wednesday, is absolutely crucial to understand that you have something to offer, you have something to provide, and this is the way to share it with the world.
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed on LinkedIn, and it's funny, Jackie mentioned like doing stuff on Instagram and LinkedIn. One of the things I've realized since we like shelter in place first happened pretty much all over last year, March, is more people were using video on LinkedIn, right? Like before, it didn't seem like there was as much video. How important is video to growing your virtual network? I mean, obviously virtual is like, well, it's video, right? But how important is it? Like some people may think, well, I'm on the internet, I don't like video, I can share a picture here and there or just share a statement. But wouldn't video be more, because people are more likely to want to watch you than read what you have to say?
Exactly. You're absolutely right. You know, the visual is always far more impactful. So if you do a post on LinkedIn and you just do a verbiage, it may not pick up much traction. But if you attach an image or a picture, it does. And so it goes on. And so videos as well are far more impactful. And so there are a lot more videos online on LinkedIn, and there are a lot more webinars, live LinkedIn webinars on. So these tools have developed significantly during pandemic to deal with the demand for working from home and being sheltered in place. And now it's become the new norm.
Indeed. We have a lot of comments. Bobby Singh says LinkedIn is my work Bible and portfolio. Renee Charlene Simmons says, I have an account, check it occasionally. And Renee Charlene Simmons, if you don't mind, what profession are you in? Because would you say that certain professions as well, Ms. Phillips, it vary in terms of how people should use it or do use it?
It doesn't matter. It's the bottom line. It's a professional website, and I'm going to emphasize the word professional. It's not just go on there and throw anything out. Really think about what it is that you're providing to the audience. Post articles that are interesting for the people that are in your group or the people that are in your industry. Start those conversations and be seen as a thought leader in the area that you do. So, Jackie, in the area that you're in, not only do you post the activities that you're involved in, but you can post the benefits of being involved in those activities. You have no idea who's going to be logging in, whose kids or colleagues would like to take a class with you. And that's how it happens. So I say, just go for it.
All righty. Sean Smith says, I have a LinkedIn account, but I do not use it as much as I should. Rosalind Famous, I do, very important in her profession, which is translation. Shika Reyna, I have a LinkedIn account, but I don't check it regularly. Michelle White, yes, and it's important to not only to like, but also comment and the hashtag to gain more coverage to grow your network. Do it every day. What about that, Ms. Phillips?
Yes, absolutely. Engagement is very important. So I post not every day, but probably every other day. And I also go on and I read other people's posts and I engage with it. So I don't just like, I put a comment, I would add my thoughts. I would either agree or say that was a great comment and add on my own thoughts, etc. So engage with others as well, and others engage with your article, and that's how it expands.
Indeed. This is a great convo, right? Nikki, Michelle.
You know what? And I will tell you too. I have three young men, university age. One is working now, but you know, I tell them over and over, get on LinkedIn. I tell university kids, I tell high school kids, get on LinkedIn, put a profile together, and they're finding summer jobs, they're getting internships, etc. Recruiters go onto LinkedIn. It's free. They go on there, they sort, they filter, they
Yeah.
find the perfect employee, they reach out to them, and bang, there you have it. So we
It's
need
true.
to change that. Yes, it absolutely works.
Yeah.
So if moms and dads are listening, tell your kids, get on LinkedIn, get a nice professional shot, put it up there, nice title. You can go on Google. You can get all the tips you need to get as to how to set up on LinkedIn. Start early to build your network so that it can grow and you can serve the network and the network can serve you.
Serve you. Yeah, indeed. Nikki Michelle says, I use it. People use it to find me to speak at their events on branding. Yes.
Absolutely.
I read a very nice article about Nikki on there as well. I don't know if she shared it or someone else. Miss M. Laverne Chase says, I do use LinkedIn. Excellent medium to connect. Sandra Williams says, I am in sales and I use it every day. Endless opportunities to network and track new potential clients. The response rate is amazing.
I use it. I mean, as an executive coach, so my background is I'm an underwriter. I've been an underwriter for 30 something years. I know I look like I started when I was 5, but 18 months ago, I started my firm as an executive coach. I qualified about 8, 9 years ago. And how do you think I found my clients in the midst of starting my business 2 weeks or 3 weeks before COVID? It was through LinkedIn, and it's continuing to serve me. I'm continuing to get clients reach out to me who follows my posts, who follows my articles, who see the things that I'm doing and are, curious about what it is that I do. I set up a discovery call and then they're my clients. So it works.
Yeah. No, this is awesome.
For the most part.
Well, we're going to get to that next. Nicole Walker says, I use my LinkedIn occasionally, although I do have a lot of virtual contacts. The hard part is finding time to actually network.
Gotta make the time. You gotta make the time. It's like it's just a part of what you do. When I was an underwriter and I'm developing my business, I always had a time of the day. It was half an hour or an hour that I would put aside every day, and I call it networking. It's really building relationship. What is that? Maybe making a phone call, setting up a coffee meet, making an appointment to grab a lunch with a client, a coffee with a broker. It's no different. Whatever business you're in, if you want to grow your business, you have to intentionally network. And now that we're moving, we're able to move about a bit more. And if someone you want to meet up is comfortable with it, grab a coffee. I go to Brew, I go to Hamilton Princess, nice coffee outside, socially, physically distanced if they're not comfortable. And it's fantastic. It doesn't have to cost you, your whole salary. Just be creative. It is absolutely worth it. It's an investment of your time.
Indeed. Well, speaking about free, we do have Rosalind Famous says, I also suggest using LinkedIn Premium. So I'm gonna be honest, folks.
I have that. Let me it's like $20-something.
Well, let me give you my confession first. I set the LinkedIn Premium every year when they offer it free. And so I use it for that free month, and then they get me because I forget to cancel it. So I pay for 1 month per year. But speak to us about the benefits of the premium, though.
The premium is fantastic. So I used the freebie for a very, very long time until I started my own business. And I realized, oh my goodness, I need to tap in. So I did what you did, and I got the free month, and I realized, oh my goodness. So some of the benefits are, you can actually message someone right into their inbox, even though you may not have connected with them as yet. And you have up to, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10. That is fantastic. So if you see someone that's very influential that you probably won't get to connect with, they probably won't even see your request for connection, you can actually send them an email right into their inbox. So that is fantastic. Another thing that is really great is you get to see the stats of who is looking at you. So if somebody read your article or somebody liked it or commented, or recruiters have looked at it, or people from different companies have looked at it, you will get to see those people that are looking at your profile. So you can reach out to them and say something simple like, hi, I just noticed that you have been looking at my website. Is there anything that I can help you with? Is there any support that you need? Use that as a soft connect. And then you get obviously very good analytics outside of that as well. So I get to see companies that are looking. I get to see individuals that have looked. That's good data. Good data.
I want to go back to something Jackie said earlier, because she mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jackie, your question was, what's too much or like overdoing it, like where it becomes spam? Because obviously social media uses algorithms, but sometimes there are people I may be connected through where I've shifted industry. So I worked in tourism before, and so they bombard, and it's not much engagement on their posts, but they're always in there, and you don't want to be seen as that. Like if I'm going to post all the time, I want to make sure if there's some engagement. How can we like just make sure that we're effective with it?
I think, again, just being really responsible. I talked earlier about having clarity and being authentic and being clear about the brand that you want to put out there and being consistent with it. That's such a good example. I'm glad you asked that question because I got a request last week from somebody that I kind of know, but yeah, so I accepted it. And immediately, the person was telling me something. And without really making a genuine connection. So make sure that your connections are genuine. So, I just said to her, I'm not interested in whatever she was offering at this time, but thank you so much for reaching out. So, proper etiquette. I mean, it's as if me walking up to you and just telling you something immediately. You have to build that relationship. You have to nurture it. You have to feed it. It takes time to build quality relationship. It's not just about, putting things in front of people. And the same happens virtually as well. Be mindful, be gracious, and just show good etiquette. Draft your information with thoughtfulness. Always think about how can this information help someone else. That's the purpose for what it is that you're offering. It's to help and to serve others.
Indeed. That's amazing because I want to touch on something. You just spoke about etiquette. So due to the pandemic, there were a lot of people like LinkedIn, which is a tool I love, folks. You all know I've spoken about it positively, but I started getting so many different requests, and I'm not like most people. Your request will sit for years if I don't feel like it's a genuine connection or like we don't have anything similar. So what happens is they send us requests. Hey, Jamel, I've seen your profile, have some interesting things. I'd like to connect, right? So depending on, I'll look at the profile. I may accept it. So when I accept them, this is the first message I get. Hey, Jamal, thanks for accepting. Hope you're well. Look, are you available for a quick chat this week to discuss how we may be able to assist one another? I'm going to read my standard response right now. My standard response is, greetings. Thanks for reaching out. Since the pandemic, like many others, I've been inundated with messages from people on this platform that don't align with what I do or am looking to do. It's to the point that I'm unable to respond to everyone. That said, thank you for reaching out, but I currently don't have the need for any services. That could change in the future. All the best, Jamel.
I think that's beautiful. I think you were honest. I think you set the boundaries, and you also ended on a positive note, which is if it changes in the future, then perhaps we can connect. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly, I just
I like that. And you responded. Some people don't respond at all.
Well, and let's end it on that note, actually, because I want to ask you about that. Well, I'll go to one more question from the audience, but I want to ask you, one of the things I try to do, regardless if it's email or LinkedIn, is respond to people. I think to not respond is really, really disrespectful and probably not in the best interest of anyone and their career. But how important is it to just acknowledge that you've received things?
It's critical. When I was in the corporate world, I had a rule for myself, which is I will respond to everyone within 24 hours of receiving that email, unless it is urgent. And I carry that with me. That's your service level. So your attention to those details and just a really quick thank you so much for reaching out. It could be that you cannot really respond in detail, but you acknowledge receipt. Thank you so much for your email. I will be looking into your request and I will get back to you by and give them a date or a time that you're comfortable with and make sure you stick with it.
All righty. One last question from the audience. Mark Arthur C. Phillips, are there any resources on effective ways to set up and use LinkedIn?
Yes, like I said, you can go on, Mark, you can go on any of the Google, wherever, just type it in. And there it is. Everything is laid out really, really nicely for you, and they have all the tips, etc. So it's really straightforward to get information. And with the pandemic, there's just tons and tons of information out there now.
All right. We actually had a week where we focused on international business, And it was really, really good because many of the young people, Kamika Jackson, Aman Wedderburn, like they spoke about like how effective LinkedIn was for them and network. And so this is really great.
I've done workshops with the Bermuda Foundation for Insurance Studies. I do a lot of work with them. Actually, I was there when it started to help them develop networking and mentor program. And I recently ran a program for BFAS, really teaching them how to network and how to use the LinkedIn platform. With Bill McCormick from LinkedIn, I had come in and we shared some best practices. So it is something I'm really trying to drum into anyone that I come in contact with, is make networking a part of the way that you do your business, the way you show up, the way you actually develop your career and your profession.
All righty. And how can people get in touch with you if they were looking to reach out and utilize your services?
Sure. It's www.clarendonwallace.com.
All righty. Lorene Phillips, thank you so much for
my pleasure. Great to network with you. But I sent you a LinkedIn invite, so I'm waiting for your standard reply.
Oh, no. I'll get to you, Miss Phillips. You can help me with my LinkedIn, definitely.
I shall.
On the free end, by the way.
Lovely to meet you, Jamal and Jackie. Lovely to meet you as well.
You as well.
Have a great one. Talk soon.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
All righty. We're going to take a quick break. And then, actually, before we go break, we have the Daily Play. But before we go break, let me just address something. So we do have some sad news to share today. The birthday girl, Carla, is moving on from the Daily Hour. I just want to take this opportunity on behalf of Bermuda Communications Group to truly thank her for her contributions in our first year to this show. Although she is moving on, we want to make it clear that she was an integral part of this show. Her involvement was special, and we created something to be proud of, that she should be proud of, that we all should be proud of. We wish her all the best in her future, and definitely send her TDH birthday wishes again. And thanks again, Jackie, for the song earlier. So Carla, all the best. Hope it is your best birthday ever. And we'll be back after this with more. Stick with us. I said stick with us.
Don't let being a woman limit you. I was raised by a man that said you could, look, we fixed our own bikes, I could tile. And my dad said this, my dad did not even finish high school, but he also said this, if you can read and follow instructions, you can do anything.
All right, welcome back to the Big Show. Thanks again to Miss Lorene Phillips. Didn't you just get a lesson in LinkedIn, Jackie?
I did. I can't wait to go play on it some more.
Play on it. If you enjoyed that conversation, if you found that conversation with Lorene Phillips helpful, please, you know what to do. Give us a like, a thumbs up. Let us know your thoughts. I honestly love LinkedIn. I do. It's been helpful with me. The first thing I noticed after I did my job interview for my current job with the BB&T Center in Florida Panthers was that the potential employers actually went on my LinkedIn page. So remember how she said that you can see who looks at your page? Well, they went on my LinkedIn page to see what it like, you know, what's his background, right? So it's crazy. Like I don't share a lot on there, but depending on industry, like in the hotel industry, people share stuff all the time, Jackie, like all the time. So it could be helpful. Now, from a tennis perspective, I'm definitely sure that you can share a lot on there. I'd like to discuss that with you.
I'm going to share some tips.
Yeah, like just share 5 tips on the benefits of tennis. Like what's the benefit of for your heart rate or health or something like that. I honestly don't know anything about tennis besides the racket, the ball, and that net in the middle. So
you know you live in Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm all around these tennis folk, but look, I'm not.
We're gonna have to change that. That's one of my main hubs.
I mean, yeah. I look, they've been trying to get me out to play golf since I've lived here the last 2-3 years. So tennis is probably behind the golf part. I'll leave tennis behind that. Look,
Wow.
we have a daily play time. No, look, to play tennis, you have to have some level of coordination that I don't
No,
think
you don't. People need to stop thinking that. You don't. You can learn hand-eye coordination with the drills and tips that I'm going to be posting on LinkedIn.
okay. I have a friend, Jamaica Jennings.
Didn't she used to play basketball?
Yeah, but that was high school. But hold on. Jamaica Jennings, friend of mine. We were in school in Alabama, right? So we had a tennis court at this complex I was living at. We went and played tennis one day, no lie. So I threw the ball up to serve it. The ball went outside of the what do you call it? The court?
The facility, the fencing.
Yeah, it ran out. And so at that point, I realized how hard tennis was. I had a level of respect for.
But you got it over the net, right?
Over the net, outside the court, on the.
All we gotta do is reel in some of that power, and you'll be great.
So what you're saying is that I'm too strong to play tennis?
No, I said that you have a lot of potential.
I thought you was giving me a compliment for my strength. I
did. Okay. I did give you a compliment.
Just keep it.
Not that one.
Okay, all right. She couldn't let me have that one. Again, thanks again to Lorene Phillips for today's conversation. Really appreciated that. Folks, get on LinkedIn, make LinkedIn work for you. I honestly can't tell you enough. I hope that Bermudians do get on the LinkedIn train, utilize it, engage with people on there. It can be very helpful for you. You seem like you want to say something. All right, here's the Daily Play. Look, Daily Play is not remember when. Who said it? So help Jackie. This is very easy. Quote, it's a politician that said it. If the people cannot trust their government to do the job for which it exists to protect them and to promote their common welfare, all else is lost. End quote.
I'm going to use my call a friend, and I'm going to look to the audience. No, you don't work like that.
Okay, well, she wants to ask the audience. Here's the quote. Hint, it's a politician. Quote, if the people cannot trust their government to do the job for which it exists to protect them and to promote their common welfare, all else is lost. End quote.
Saunders? No.
Help her out. Nobody knows the answer for this?
Nobody knows. Where are my people?
All right. I'll give you one more. It's not only a former politician, but it's a former U.S. president.
Barack Obama. Well, I went to the next one. Now it's just like.
She got it, folks. She got it. So Jackie got that. Any final thoughts on today's episode, Jack?
Very informative. I didn't realize I could use LinkedIn like that. So I am super excited. I would also like to wish Carla all the best in her future endeavors and thank her, for everything that she's taught me and continues to teach me because, she's my sis.
Indeed. And on that note, definitely there's a consensus, no tolls for Bermuda. Appreciate the conversation with Miss Lorene Phillips. Definitely LinkedIn, folks. I see a lot of people in the comments today that do use it and get it, but we have to encourage so many others to use LinkedIn. Really a valuable tool, regardless of what space you're in. I do have a winner to announce. Alshia Janelle Lugo has got the answer. She won the draw from this week's trivia question. The question was, which of the following Olympians has not appeared on the show as of yet? A was Couture Horton Parent Chief, B was Brian Wellman, C was Hazel Clark, and D was all the above. The answer was B, Brian Wellman. So props to Alshia Janelle Lugo. She gets herself a mug. Again, as just repeat what Jackie said, happy birthday to Carla. Hopefully it's her best birthday ever. Thanks again for all she's done for the Daily Hour. Great contribution. Really something to be proud of, and look forward to seeing what she's doing next. On that note, we have an inspiration. I got to give you a daily inspiration. Here it is. Quote, just don't give up trying to do what you really want to do. Where there is love and inspiration, I don't think you can go wrong. End quote. Ella Fitzgerald. So on that note, we'll leave you until tomorrow. Very important. Bermuda College. We're doing a lot with Bermuda College this week. Obviously, for those who don't know, I'm the commencement speaker this year. So hopefully you all enjoy and are inspired by the words that I share. And the graduates, you have something to be proud of. So we'll be celebrating you all week. Jackster, yeah, we're going to say goodbye. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, and Linda's for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Jackie Lambert. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, make it a great day. Peace.